Have you ever felt that sharp twist inside your chest when someone you trusted becomes the source of your pain? That moment when his words cut deeper than any physical wound. You stand there, frozen, not because you are weak, but because you never expected the hurt to come from him. Here is the truth that nobody tells you. When a man hurts you intentionally or unintentionally, your natural reaction is exactly what he predicts. You cry, you explain, you beg for an apology, you try to make him understand your pain, and that is where you lose. Because he already knows you will react that way, so he remains in control. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of giving him the emotional reaction he expects, you gave him something else entirely? Something that stops his brain cold. Something that makes him question everything he thought about you. That is what we are going to build today. By the end of this video, you will understand a psychological strategy so powerful that it confuses his mind, shifts the power dynamic instantly, and leaves him wondering why you are not acting like every other person who ever loved him. This is not about games. This is about self-respect dressed in strategy. Stay with me until the very end, because the last thing I will share is a sentence you can use word for word the next time he hurts you. A sentence that rewires his perception of you forever. Let us begin with a simple fact. Human beings are creatures of predictability. Your brain loves patterns. When you wake up, you expect the sun to rise. When you greet a friend, you expect a smile back. When you love someone, you expect kindness in return. But when he hurts you, his brain also has a prediction. He expects you to react emotionally. He expects tears. He expects anger. He expects silence. He expects you to chase his love to fix what he broke. These expectations are not guesses. They are psychological scripts written from every argument he has ever had with every person in his life. Now think deeply. What happens when reality breaks a prediction? Neuroscience calls it prediction error. When the brain expects something and gets the opposite, it releases a surge of attention, confusion, curiosity. The person stops being defensive and starts trying to understand. That is the door you want to walk through. When he hurts you and you respond not with emotion, but with a calm, unexpected action or word, his brain enters that state of prediction error. He is no longer thinking about why he hurt you. He is now thinking about why you are not hurting back. That shift is everything. Most people make a critical mistake when they are hurt. They try to prove their pain. They say things like, "Why would you do this to me?" Or, "Do you even care about my feelings?" Those questions feel natural, but they are traps. Because those questions invite him to defend himself. And when a man defends himself, he stops listening. He starts building walls. The conversation becomes a battlefield instead of a bridge. You do not need a battlefield. You need a mirror. A mirror reflects without attacking. A mirror confuses because it does not fight back. It simply shows what is there. Let me give you the first psychological layer. When a man hurts you, his subconscious mind is waiting for one of four reactions. Number 1, you become sad and withdraw. Number 2, you become angry and attack. Number 3, you become clingy and try to fix things. Number 4, you become cold and give silent treatment. All four of these reactions make him feel powerful in some way. Sadness makes him feel superior. Anger makes him feel justified. Clinginess makes him feel wanted. Cold silence makes him feel like the victim. Every single one of these keeps you trapped in his emotional frame. Now imagine a fifth reaction, one he never sees coming. You smile slightly. Not a fake smile, not a cruel smile, a calm, knowing smile. Then you say, "I see you." That is all. No anger, no tears, no questions, just those 3 words. I see you. What does that mean to his brain? It means you are not reacting to his action. You are seeing through his action into his intention. That terrifies him, because if you see him, he cannot hide. If you see him, he cannot manipulate. If you see him, his power to surprise you is gone. And a man who feels truly seen for the first time either crumbles or transforms. Either way, you win. But let us go deeper. Human psychology teaches us that people repeat behaviors that get rewarded. Every time you cry and he apologizes just to stop the tears, he learns that hurting you only costs him a few sorry words. Every time you get angry and he yells back, he learns that conflict is just entertainment. Every time you chase him after he pulls away, he learns that distance makes you work harder for his love. You have been training him, not on purpose, but the result is the same. He hurts. You react. He learns nothing except that hurting you has no real consequences for him. To confuse him, you must break the pattern, not with punishment. Punishment creates resentment. You break it with mystery. Mystery rewires attraction and respect. Think about the most magnetic people you have ever met. Were they the ones who spilled all their emotions instantly? No. They were the ones who stayed calm when others panicked. The ones who smiled when others screamed. The ones who walked away when others begged. That calmness is not coldness, it is self-control. And self-control is the loudest message you can send to a man who hurt you. It says, "You do not have the power to shake me." And that means you never had the power to own me. Here is where the confusion deepens. When you do not react the way he expects, his brain does something fascinating. It starts to rewrite the memory of what he did. He might have hurt you deliberately, but your calm reaction makes him wonder if you even noticed. He might have tried to make you jealous, but your smile makes him wonder if you already moved on. He might have insulted you, but your silence makes him wonder if his words were beneath your attention. In his attempt to understand you, he will start to question his own actions. That is the goal. Not revenge, not manipulation, but a shift in the mirror so powerful that he starts examining himself instead of blaming you. Let me teach you a word. It is called non-complementary behavior. In psychology, complementary behavior means you react in a way that matches the other person's action. He yells, you yell. He withdraws, you chase. He hurts, you cry. Non-complementary behavior means you react in a way that does not match. He yells, you whisper. He withdraws, you smile. He hurts, you say thank you. Wait, thank you? Yes. Imagine this. He says something cruel to diminish you. You pause, look him in the eyes, and say, "Thank you for showing me who you are right now. I needed to see that." Then you turn and walk to another room. Or you continue making your tea. His brain will short circuit. Because he expected pain or anger, instead, he got gratitude and detachment. That is not a reaction he has a script for. And a man without a script is a man without control over you. Now I want you to understand something important. This is not about pretending to be strong. Pretending breaks. This is about becoming so certain of your own value that his hurt cannot reach your core. Think of a lion. A lion does not get confused when a dog barks. The lion does not wonder why the dog is barking. The lion does not try to explain to the dog that barking is rude. The lion simply continues walking, because the lion knows its own power. You are the lion. His hurtful words or actions are the barking. The moment you stop treating his bark like a lion's roar, you stop being afraid. That is the deepest psychological shift. Fear disappears when relevance disappears. He becomes irrelevant to your sense of self-worth. That is freedom. But you asked for confusion. So let me give you a specific pattern. The next time he hurts you, do not ask, "Why did you do that?" Instead, ask this question. What were you hoping to feel by doing that? This question changes everything. Because why questions make people defensive. They answer with excuses. But what were you hoping to feel forces him to look inward. He wanted to feel powerful. He wanted to feel in control. He wanted to feel vindicated. And when he admits that to himself, even silently, he has to face an uncomfortable truth. He hurt you to make himself feel something. That is not love. That is using you as an emotional tool. Once he realizes you see that, his confusion turns into something else. Respect or shame. Either way, you are no longer his tool. Let me also address the fear. Many of you are thinking, if I do not react, he will think I do not care. If I do not cry, he will think he did nothing wrong. That fear is exactly what he depends on. He depends on your fear of losing him to keep you reacting. But here is the truth that psychology has proven again and again. People respect what they cannot predict, and people chase what feels slightly out of reach. When you stay calm and confused him with your non-reaction, you become unpredictable. You become a challenge again, not a game. A healthy challenge. A challenge that says, if you want my emotional energy again, you will have to earn it. And you will have to stop hurting me. Reward reminder. I promised you a sentence you can use word for word. Here it is. The next time he hurts you and expects an emotional explosion, look at him calmly and say this. I'm not upset. I'm just noticing that you're choosing to act like someone I wouldn't trust with my heart right now. I'll wait and see who you decide to be tomorrow. Then stop talking. Do not explain. Do not rephrase. Do not soften it. Just let those words sit in the air. His brain will replay that sentence for hours. Because you did not accuse him. You did not cry. You did not threaten. You simply observed his choice. And you gave him a door to change tomorrow. That is the most confusing and most powerful position you can take. You are not his victim. You are not his mother. You are the woman who watches silently and decides later. That shifts everything. We have only just begun. In the next section, we will go deeper into the exact phrases, body language shifts, without mentioning visuals, and psychological triggers that make a man rethink every time he ever hurt you. You will learn how to use silence as a weapon of peace, how to make your absence louder than your presence, and how to walk away without burning the bridge so he comes back confused and changed. But for now, sit with what you have learned. You are not weak for being hurt. You are powerful for choosing how to respond. And today, you chose confusion over tears. That is growth. That is strength. That is the beginning of a new you. Now let us move deeper. You have learned the foundation of prediction error and non-complementary behavior. But knowing the theory is not enough. You need the step-by-step mental process that turns confusion into lasting respect. In this section, we will build on that foundation. We will explore why men often repeat hurtful behaviors even when they claim to love you. We will look at the role of ego protection, and we will give you 3 specific phrases that work like psychological keys. Each phrase is short. Each phrase is calm. Each phrase confuses him so deeply that he cannot go back to treating you the same way. First, understand this. When a man hurts you and you react emotionally, his ego immediately goes into protection mode. Ego is not the same as pride. Ego is the story he tells himself to feel like a good person. He might say, "She is too sensitive," or "She always overreacts," or "She started it." These are ego protections. They allow him to hurt you without feeling like the villain. The moment you cry or scream, his ego whispers, "See, she is unstable. You did nothing wrong." That is why your emotional reaction backfires. It gives his ego the excuse it needs. But when you stay calm and confuse him, his ego gets no excuse. He cannot call you crazy. He cannot call you dramatic. He can only sit with the uncomfortable fact that you responded with dignity while he responded with cruelty. That silence from you becomes a loud mirror, and mirrors do not lie. So let me give you the first deep phrase. He says something hurtful. You pause for 3 full seconds. Count them in your head. 1, 2, 3. Then you say, "That was a choice." 4 words. That was a choice. Do not say it angrily. Say it like you are observing the weather. Calm, neutral, final. Then you change the subject or walk away to pour water. Those 4 words do something powerful. They remove the excuse of accident. They remove the excuse of anger. They remove the excuse of "I didn't mean it." Because a choice is a choice. And when you name his action as a choice, you remind him and yourself that he is not a victim of his emotions. He is a man who chose to hurt you. Most people never say that out loud. They dance around it. You will not. You will name it. And then you will move on without begging for an apology. That is confusion. Because he expected a fight, you gave him a fact. Second phrase. This one is for when he tries to gaslight you or twist reality. He says, "You're overthinking it," or "That never happened." Look at him, not with anger, with curiosity, and say, "I remember what happened, but it's interesting that you don't." Then stop. Do not argue. Do not list evidence. Do not defend your memory. Just say those words and go quiet. His brain will panic slightly. Because you did not try to prove you are right, you simply stated your memory and pointed out the difference in his. That leaves him with no fight. He cannot argue with your memory because it is yours. He can only sit in the awkward space where 2 realities exist. And over time, that awkward space becomes too uncomfortable for him to keep lying. He will either admit the truth or avoid hurting you again to avoid that discomfort. Either way, you win. Third phrase. This is the most advanced one. Use it only when the hurt is repeated and you feel your energy draining. He hurts you again after you have already been calm and patient. You say, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed." And disappointment is harder to fix than anger. Then you become slightly quieter for the rest of the conversation. Not cold, not silent, just quieter. Shorter answers, less eye contact. Not as punishment, but as a natural consequence of being around someone who disappointed you. Psychology calls this operant conditioning. You are not punishing him. You are simply withdrawing your warmth because his actions made warmth feel unsafe. And here is the magic. Men often fear disappointment from a woman they respect more than they fear her anger. Anger can be dismissed as temporary. Disappointment feels like a verdict that says, "I believed you were better. Now I am not sure." That doubt in your eyes is more powerful than any scream. Now let us talk about the timing of your confusion strategy. Timing is everything. If you react immediately after he hurts you, your reaction still feels emotional, even if it is calm. So add a small pause, a pause of 5 to 10 seconds. In that pause, take a slow breath. Look slightly away. Touch your own hand gently. Then bring your eyes back to him and deliver your calm phrase. That pause does two things. First, it shows him that you are responding intentionally, not reacting impulsively. Second, it gives his brain time to feel the weight of what he just did. In those silent seconds, his anxiety rises. He starts to wonder what you will say. He might even apologize before you speak. If he does, you do not jump to accept it. You simply say, "Thank you for saying that. I'll think about it." Then continue your day. That keeps the power exactly where it belongs, with you. Another deep psychological principle is called reactance. Reactance is the human need to feel free. When someone pressures you to feel or act a certain way, you naturally push back. That is why begging a man to care never works. It pressures him. His reactance makes him pull away. But confusion works differently. When you stay calm and unexpected, you remove the pressure. He no longer feels forced to apologize or change. He feels free. And ironically, that freedom makes him more likely to choose change on his own. Because now it is his idea, and people always trust their own ideas more than someone else's demands. That is the hidden genius of confusion. You are not controlling him. You are creating a space where he controls himself toward being better. Let me address a common fear. Some of you might worry that being calm makes you seem weak or indifferent. The opposite is true. In every psychological study of social power, the person who speaks less and reacts less is perceived as higher status. Think about it. Who seems more powerful? The person who jumps at every comment or the person who smiles slowly and says nothing? The person who explains their feelings for 20 minutes or the person who says "noted" and turns away? Calmness is intimidating to someone who uses emotional chaos as a weapon. Your calmness says, "I have seen worse. I have survived worse." Your little hurt does not shake the mountain that I am. That is not weakness. That is the quiet before the earthquake he never sees coming. Now let me give you a mindset shift. Stop asking, "Why does he hurt me?" That question keeps you in a victim loop. Start asking, "What am I teaching him about how to treat me?" Because people treat you based on what you tolerate, not based on what you deserve. You can deserve the world, but if you tolerate breadcrumbs, you will get breadcrumbs. Tolerance is a silent curriculum. Every time you accept hurt without changing your behavior, you teach him that hurt is acceptable. Every time you cry and stay, you teach him that tears are not a reason to leave. Every time you forgive without a changed pattern, you teach him that his comfort matters more than your pain. Today, you change the curriculum. You teach him that confusion is the new consequence, that your calm is not permission, that your smile is not a green light, that your silence is not acceptance. It is observation. And observation can turn into distance anytime you choose. Finally, I want to prepare you for what happens after you use this strategy. He will likely do one of three things. First, he might try harder to get a reaction. He might say something even more hurtful to see if you break. Do not fall for it. Repeat your calm phrase or simply say, "I heard you." then do not respond further. Second, he might withdraw and give you silent treatment. Let him. Use that silence to enjoy your own peace. Do not chase, do not check in. His withdrawal is not your problem. It is his confusion turning into isolation. Third, he might genuinely apologize and ask what he can do differently. If that happens, you can speak your truth calmly, but only if he asked. Never offer your truth to someone who did not ask for it. That is the final piece of respect. Your emotional truth is a gift. Give it only to hands that are gentle enough to hold it without breaking it. You are learning to become unpredictable in the healthiest way, not by playing games, but by refusing to play the game he is used to. That refusal is your power, and power, when used with kindness toward yourself, changes everything. In the next section, we will talk about what to do when he comes back confused and trying to earn your trust again. Because that moment is fragile. That moment is where most people fall back into old patterns. But not you. You will know exactly what to say, what to allow, and what to walk away from. For now, practice the pause. Practice the calm phrases. Write them down if you need to. Your voice is soft, but your boundaries are now made of steel wrapped in silk. That is the new you, and he will never see you coming.